We're going to be spreading a bit of Christmas cheer. I know everybody told me you can't do that till December, but it is December on Sunday. So we figure it's time to start, don't we, Laura?
Absolutely.
So for those of you who haven't met us before, my name is Debbie. I tend to do this side of the camera, so the demonstrating, playing with the flowers and all that kind of good stuff. And Laura does all the technical IT stuff.
Hi there.
So you'll hear Laura, but if she has her way, you won't see her.
Absolutely not.
So today we're going to create a Christmas table arrangement, but we're going to do it in a crate. So keeping that sort of traditional feel to it, but adding that little bit of rustic, a little bit of a rustic vibe going on here as well. So if I go through the ingredients that I'm going to use first. So we've got a crate. Now you don't have to use a crate. Any suitable container would be absolutely fine. We're a little bit of a crate fan around here, aren't we, Laura? We love crates. So we're going to do that today. I've got biodegradable cellophane, which I've lined the crate with, and then I've got biodegradable wet brick, which I've used 2 of. Now you might not need to use 2, depending on the container size that you've got, but I've kind of stacked one on top of each other there. If I tilt that slightly, you can probably see. Can you see that, Laura?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, perfect. You can
Just
see
a quick
how I've
question,
lined
whilst we're at the beginning, Debs,
Yes.
could you, instead of using the floral foam, could you just use some chicken wire?
Yeah, you could, as long as you line the container with something that's going to retain the water. Unless, of course, you use some kind of a container that will hold water. Yeah, you just put chicken wire in and then you can do the arrangement that way. So yeah, I mean that we have copper mesh that's really, really good. That works really well as well. The only issue you might find is inserting candles into mesh. It's not a very easy thing to do without them slipping through. So, but yeah, as far as your flowers and foliage are concerned, absolutely you could. So then for my fresh items, I've got some blue spruce, which is left over from our wreath making. I'm guessing all you guys out there have been busy making wreaths, so if you've got a few little bits and pieces left over, hold on to them, keep them in water, and then you can use them for your table decorations later on. Also got a bunch of English variegated ivy. We're promoting the English ivy, variegated holly, I do apologise. And then we also have 10 stems of red spray rose, this one's Mirabelle, and 10 stems of red spray carnation. Then for my little sundry bits, got some cones, pine cones, wouldn't be Christmas without pine cones. Got some orange slices. I have to say, these smell fantastic. And then I've got some candles. Candles are a taper candle. This one's, I think, a 30 by 300 millimetre. That's a 23-hour burning time on that, so it's a chapel candle. You can find those on our website. And then I've got my wires, and somewhere I've got some cinnamon sticks, but they seem to have disappeared at the moment, so I'll find those in a couple of mins. So, have we got any shout outs to do, Laura?
Yes, we do. We've got some lovely ladies join us. We've got Jane, who we were just discussing, one of our top fans. She is, I don't know if you remember her saying last week, she actually is in Canada this week, so she's definitely not on the bus this morning, but she is a bit jet lagged.
Oh, bless. Oh, well, I hope you're having a fantastic time in Canada. I can't remember where she said she was going now. It wasn't Vancouver, I think it was, I can't remember now. I hope you're having a fantastic time. I'm very jealous.
We've also got Lynn, who says, hello lovelies. I just added that to it. Hello ladies. Sorry Lynn. Looking forward to this one. And we've also got Charlie, who says, sorry I'm late. Do not worry, Charlie, you are not late. We are just doing our introductions.
Yeah, welcome on board.
We've also got 39 people watching today, so make yourself known. We'd love to hear who's watching us.
Yeah, let us know what you're doing as well and what you're making up flower-wise. And how your festive preparations are coming along. How are you decorating your house? And what colours are you using? Because colours are really, really interesting this year. There's a complete diverse selection of colours available in the high street, isn't there, Laura?
Absolutely.
I mean, we're still a little bit of a gold and red kind of fan here, aren't we, really?
Very traditional,
We're a bit traditional, but yeah, there's all sorts of things that are available now. So as I said, we've gone very traditional reds and greens here today, but just touching on that theme, should you want to create this arrangement to match in with your colour theme that you're using for your Christmas decorations this year, I mean, whites would work very, very well. White and green is always classic. I think that looks fantastic. I have seen silver and cerise pink. I've also seen blue and silver. So there's lots of different colours about. So whatever you're doing in your household this year, match your table arrangement with it so it looks like it's a planned thing rather than a happy accident. So with the orange slices, I'm literally just piercing each slice just below the rind. They are really dried. And sliding the wire on, and then just bringing the two ends of the wire together in a double leg mount. And then they're ready to insert into the arrangement. They really smell orangey. That's a surprise.
So we've got more lovely ladies joined us. We've got Julie, Amanda, we've got Anya, who says good afternoon. We've got Joan, we've got Charmaine. And just a quick one, we've got Jane who said she's in Toronto. It was good, but I am more a country person than a city person.
I kind of identify with that actually, Jane. It's Toronto. I couldn't remember where you said. I have spent some time in Vancouver with a friend, and that was amazing. But yeah, lovely place, Canada. Right, okay. Oh, and hi Anya, thank you for the photographs, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to make a start now. I'm going to insert my candles. Now, I've tried to be relatively eco-friendly here. Rather than using a plastic candle holder, I've actually used a plant cane, which I've cut into 3 sections, and I've taped that around the base of the candle. So this bit is biodegradable. The plastic tape, unfortunately, isn't. The problem is if you try and tie it with twine or something like that, which is biodegradable, then unfortunately it doesn't anchor it very well. So you'd have to just remove the plastic before you throw this into your biodegradable area. Okay, so just going to insert 3 of those. Now I'm going to stand them up like little soldiers, so one either end. And then one in the middle. Hey, we're there. I think they're quite level. Excellent. Then I'm going to start by creating almost like a long low style. So I'm going to start from the outsides. So I'm just going to grab myself some blue spruce here. And keep those questions coming, everybody. We'll try our absolute utmost to answer them, won't we, Laura?
Absolutely, that's what I'm here for, ladies.
And then what I normally do when I'm placing pine into wet foam, or actually into any kind of arrangement, I tend to strip the pine needles that are going into the foam. I'm just going to grab my... Now you can use a knife, or you can literally just use the blade of your floristry scissors and spread them all over the place.
Please make in a suitable area.
Yeah, exactly. Not on your best cream carpet. I do have a bit of a reputation for being a bit messy. So, okay. And then my other piece of blue spruce. Again, just remove the needles, stripping those off. Now, if you have actually bought blue spruce from us this year, and there's been quite a bit of blue spruce going through the door, if you're going to keep it for a period of time, just scrape sort of 2 to 3 centimetres off the bottom of the stem, removing the bark and the needles, and then pop that into the same amount of water, and then that will keep for absolutely ages. Store it somewhere nice and cool, preferably frost-free, because believe me, trying to arrange with frosty foliage is not an easy option. That's the voice of experience. Same with your holly wreaths. If you're storing them somewhere, you're storing your moss rings ready to make holly wreaths, make sure you store those somewhere that's frost free as well, because trying to get wires through a frosted wreath ring that's mossed up is nigh on impossible. I have before had moss rings sitting on radiators trying to defrost so we can work on them. So yeah, not a good thing. Okay, so just adding the blue spruce in first to give me my shape. Oh, and as you can see, I'm just pulling the pine needles off now rather than stripping them.
Oh, we've got a lovely Suzanne who says, love the new shelves in the studio.
Thank you for noticing, Suzanne. Okay, so we're going to be watching out for those of you who notice that we change it regularly. So just remind us if you see the same thing 2 weeks running. That'll be a challenge for us, Laura. See what have we got on our shelf this week? What have we got on our shelf today?
I was just thinking of Where's Wally or something like that, spot the dark, I don't know.
That's a really good idea. We like that idea. Yeah. Going to have a Friday live mascot that we hide.
A challenge of the week. Keep everyone awake.
As you can tell, we've had a stressful morning.
A little bit too much coffee, maybe.
Yeah, it could be. And mince pies. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is, because it's quite evident that you've used the sticks to cover the candles, I'm actually going to place a little bit of spruce around there first and foremost, just to cover those sticks up, which is going to make it easier later on, because trying to actually cover those once you've inserted holly, it's not going to be easy.
Bernadette, lovely to meet you. She just said this show is amazing. Oh, never thought of it as a show.
Thank you, Bernadette. I think we've just had a promotion.
She said, did you dry the oranges in the oven? No, we did not. We pre-brought those from Triangle Nursery ourselves.
Yeah, no, guilty as charged there, we didn't.
We've had a very busy week, so I don't think we have time for that.
And to be quite fair, here, anything that's remotely edible in our kitchen doesn't last 5 minutes.
No,
so someone would have nabbed them and eaten them, wouldn't they? All right, so as I say, just covering up those little bits of mechanics there, just to make it easier later on. Looks like they've got little tiny cosy collars.
They do.
Or maybe that's just me.
At the moment it does. So just to let everyone know, if they do have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And that is the purpose of me, to communicate with you guys and to ask Debbie all the wise questions. So make sure you ask those in the comment section. We've got Joan who says, can't think of anything to ask today. Was at a wedding yesterday, not into bed until 3 a.m. Ooh, nice. Must have been a good night.
Absolutely.
And then up at 7 and I'm knackered. This is a beautiful design.
Oh, thank you. Wow, I'm getting far too old to burn the candle at both ends nowadays. If I go out really late, it takes me about 3 weeks to get over it.
I love it.
Right, okay, so I'm just going to spin this round just so you can see it's the same either side. Get rid of some of those pine cones. Needles even. And we're back in position. There we go. So you can see it's the same all the way around. Now the last few pieces of spruce that I've got left, I'm just going to pop in just so we've got that continuity all the way through. It doesn't look like you've just used it literally on the edges. It does actually go all the way through the arrangement. Smells really Christmassy in here.
It does. I love the smell of spruce.
Spruce, yeah. Walked through the floristry department this morning and it smelled like Christmas had come.
It's that time of year that everyone's doing their wreath workshops. Moss and spruce have been flying out of our doors, so I'm sure there's lots of fantastic wreath workshops going on all across the country this weekend and even next weekend as well.
Yeah, you have to show us, send us some pictures of what you've done, because we love to see what our customers have created. We do to get lots of pictures sent actually, and it's so rewarding to know that what we do on our live stream inspires you all to have a go. It's so encouraging, makes it feel like it's worthwhile.
Absolutely. So Dan, just to answer your question, please do just watch back from the beginning when you can, just because we did show you how to pop the candles in, so it's well worth just to watch back from the beginning. I have got a question for you, Debbie. Holly, would you normally work with it with gloves, or how do you approach the spiky
the spiky beasties? Okay, so I personally really struggle to wear gloves. Even if I'm mossing, I really struggle because I end up binding my gloves in the wire. I can't get hold of things properly. I get my gloves hooked up on another spike of holly, and as I take my hand out, the glove stays behind. So, yeah, but I'm a bit awkward, to be fair. So, a lot of my colleagues use gloves. I personally don't. Personal choice, really, and quite frankly, it's what you prefer, or how you prefer to work.
So you just have to get used to it then, basically.
To be honest, I've had 40 years of holly prickles, so yeah, you just get used to it. To be fair, I have used it to my advantage in the past, where I've had a particularly busy Christmas and I've been doing hundreds and hundreds of holly wreaths. My hands are so sore I can't put them into hot water. It's a good way to get out of the washing up on Christmas Day. So there you go. It has its advantages.
We've got Joan who asked a question. I find when placing holly, the berries always seem to be at the bottom of the stems and you can't always see the good of them.
Yeah, I do. I agree with you there. That's Mother Nature for you, playing tricks. She doesn't like to make things too easy for us because we're stealing her products. So yeah, she's going to make it awkward. But if I spin this one round, I'll show you how I've managed to do that. Ooh, in you go, mate. I'll spin this round so you can see how I've just added a couple of pieces of the holly there that were at the bottom of the stem. So I've just literally cut that off. Okay, you get the blunt end, but you still get to see the beauty of the berries. But yeah, unfortunately, that's Mother Nature for you. She doesn't create absolutes, unfortunately. But that's what makes it so fabulous to work with, really.
To be fair, you could, an option would be, I suppose, to get holly, and then you, for instance, could get ironex berries or something that gives you more berries, or hypericum or something like that, couldn't you? Definitely, yeah. Just add a bit more red to them. Or if you wanted to, you could buy the false ones, you know, the little double-ended berries that we sell. That are on a wire, and just bind those where you want them to. And they would last as well, wouldn't they? Yeah, they would. And if it's something you're putting outside, birds will have a nasty surprise when they try and eat them as well. So, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that really. No. Okay, sorry. Just to let you know, Debbie does not like birds, so... Debbie has a phobia of birds. Yes, yeah, very much so. So that's why. And believe me, my colleagues... a couple of years ago, I have to tell you this little story. A couple of years ago, they decided to make friends with a pet robin in the floristry workroom. Can you imagine? Somebody who's paranoid about birds, terrified of the damn things. I love to see them. I would never hurt one. I really would never hurt one. And I love to see them in the wild. They're so beautiful. But it's when they start flapping and getting close. No, not good. Okay, so I'm just going to spin this round so you can see where we've got up to. Ooh, I just need a little bit more holly that side. I did drop a piece over the edge, so excuse me while I disappear. Oh, we've got Lynn who says, my theme this year is silver and blue. Any thoughts on flowers for this? Okay, so depending on what tone of blue at Christmas time, if you want something that's a little bit extra special, we can get the blue Colombian hydrangeas all year round. They're actually quite a reasonable price, even at Christmas time. So perhaps for something a little bit, you know, a bit exotic maybe, or a bit out of season, something a bit special, have a little look at the blue hydrangeas.
Otherwise there's blue eryngium.
You've also got the silver eryngium, well, the greeny.
Yeah, the Sirius
Questar eryngium, which would work really nicely in that silvery theme.
It would. And as far as silver things go, you've got Brunia, you've got Coccia, you've got Olive, all of the eucalyptus. There's quite a lot of silvery greys, isn't there?
And to be fair, there's a lot that's dyed. You'll be able to get a lot. So, for instance, like asparagus fern, you'll also get eucalyptus dyed silver. You've got all the birches and the betula, which is like twiggy things.
Absolutely. I'm just trying to think of some more blue, fresh irises, although they don't last terribly well. What else have we got?
Blue's a tricky one, isn't it?
It is a little bit of a tricky one at the winter time. I did mention, Veronica. That's not a true blue though. That's a purple. Purple, isn't it?
That's a good amount.
Sorry?
I think we've overwhelmed her.
Okay, we'll stop there. So I'm now going to add my spray carnations in. So I'm doing, as I said, a line across.
So Charlie says, I always work with a turntable. It's easier, absolutely, Charlie. But our little turntable has got a little bit of a squeak to it, and we haven't managed to fix that squeak yet. So just to let you know, that's why we're not working with the turntable today.
Yeah, we tried to deafen our poor viewers a few weeks ago, so we've decided to abandon that for the time being.
Table's just as sufficient. But yes, it is a great tool to have, or a piece of equipment. We've got Marsha who says, how beautiful. Thank you, Marsha.
Thank you.
Right, so what are you adding now, Debbie?
So I'm now adding my red spray carnations, and I'm adding those in almost, how would you say? I'm adding them in a line across the centre and emphasising this sort of point at the ends. And I'm just going to bring some in around either side just to keep it even, really. As I said, this is quite a traditional style arrangement as opposed to some of the contemporary designs that we have been doing recently. Do give us a look in December, because our flower of the month is Amaryllis in December. We have some absolutely beautiful designs, don't we, Laura?
We do indeed.
And it's been such a treat to work with some of them, I tell you. So, yeah. So that was our flower of the month for December. I hope you've still been enjoying our November. Can't we put
Product of the month.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. That's a good word.
Moss.
Product of the month, moss. Actually had some fun with moss as well, to be honest. I've become a moss convert.
You have, haven't you?
I have, yeah. From being somebody that was a bit moss, I'm actually someone now that's, wow, all the things you can do with moss, amazing stuff. So yeah, have a little look at our moss how-to guides, because we've got some quite different things that we've done with those. I don't know if you caught our live stream last week. We did a moss-inspired table plan. That was quite good fun, wasn't it, Laura?
That was, and it's still going.
It is still going, actually. We've had some nice comments as people have come into the office. So just adding these spray carnations, as I say, again, just to emphasise that shape. Either end. Ooh. Just holding on to the candle for anchorage.
Oh dear.
So now with this sort of arrangement, I know everybody gets completely manic at Christmas. There's always so much to do. Last minute present wrapping, present buying, getting the food all prepped. So your table flowers are quite often the last thing on your mind. So the good thing about something like this is you can actually arrange the foliage in it, even a couple of weeks before, and keep it well hydrated, and then just pop your flowers in on the actual day or the day before. So yeah, a little bit of prep work you can do on this type of arrangement. So I'm now going to pop in my special spray roses. I'm going to slit the stem up, which I always do, just to give greater surface area so more cells are exposed to the wet foam so they can take water up more easily. And because they are our star of the show in this arrangement, or to use a technical term, focal flower, I'm going to place those in the arrangement so they're a little bit more elevated. So when you look at them, they're kind of the first thing that jumps out at you. The other thing I should say to you is I have used real candles on this occasion in this arrangement. So with my little health and safety hat on, always be aware, never leave a lit candle unattended, and try not to put them in a draft as well when they're burning. So as an alternative, if you wanted to, you could actually use LED candles, especially if you've got young children sitting at the dinner table who are likely to reach over. So go onto our website, www.trianglenursery.co.uk, and you'll be able to see the whole range of LED candles that we have, as well as the traditional candles. Okay, I'm going to spin that round now. And then just adding the last of my spray red roses. Ooh,
so much to your display, Deb. So I've just put it on your face. Just got a question for you. So, do you think fresh flowers and artificial materials work well together, or are there times you wouldn't put them together?
To be honest with you, we've often been asked to use something for a funeral. So, say for example, poppies or sweet peas, or something that's very, very seasonal, and perhaps the funeral is not taking place when they're seasonally available. So I have been known to use artificial flowers in a funeral tribute, just purely for the sentimentality, to make sure you include that in memory of the person that's passed away. So yeah, I have done that before. I tend to prefer, if I'm honest, to use dried and preserved items rather than silk if I'm using them in an arrangement. I think they tend to look a little bit softer. Having said that, you can get some really amazingly good silk and artificial flowers now. So, do you know what? I think anything goes, really. People tend to do what they need to do, don't they?
Absolutely.
So, yeah. I've never been a massive fan of silk flowers, if I'm really honest, but I have to say some of the ones that you get now are fantastic, and at a distance you probably wouldn't even know. So yeah, do what you need to do, if that's helpful. So I'm now going to pop my cones in. I'm just going to bend the ends of the wire up. For those of you who have watched us on several occasions, you'll know why I do that. You imagine my hand is the foam. If you pop that into the foam, if you catch it, it's going to pull out really easily. If you just hook wire, it's not going to come out quite so easily. So that's why I do that. Just a little bit of added anchorage, really. And then I'm just going to pop those in and around the arrangement. So in a little cluster of 3. And then I'm going to do the same with my orange slices in a cluster of 3. Whoops.
So make sure you make your questions known. Pop them in the comment section if you have anything to ask about this arrangement, about anything Christmassy you're doing that you need advice on. Don't forget to ask. Don't like silence.
Our viewers are very quiet today.
I think they're concentrating.
Yeah.
We have got Jane, who said, I think I said before, but I am hoping to do a moss table runner for my Crimbo table this year.
Ooh,
and then
nice.
we've got Charlie, who says, I'm making a Christmas garland this year using holly and spruce.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, it's so lovely actually when people take the time to decorate their own table and you're a florist, because you spend all of the hours that you possibly can leading up to the big day doing arrangements for everybody else and for customers and what have you. So if you can actually do something for yourself, I think that's really nice.
Definitely. You spent all that time doing lots of things for other people,
Absolutely.
So do it for yourself as well.
I have to confess, I have got to the point some years where I thought, I really can't do any more. So, not had anything on the table centre.
Oh, we got a nice compliment for you, Debbie. Joan says, that is such a beautiful arrangement. You're very talented, Debbie, and can do anything creative with flowers.
Oh, Oh, thank you, Jane. Gosh. Oh, well, that's made my day. They won't let me out the door now. My head will be too big. There we go. So that is all there is to it. Oops. Thank you so much for all the lovely comments that you've sent to us. We really love to hear what you've been doing as well. So keep those pictures coming and those comments coming and those questions. And don't forget to like us, share us with your friends or your fellow florists or fellow flower arrangers or flower club members. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and go and watch all those lovely how-to guides using amaryllis and moss and all sorts. All right. And we look forward to welcoming you back again very, very soon. Thank you for watching. Have a fantastic weekend and enjoy the festivities. Bye for now.
Bye.